It's okay for you to be brutally honest sometimes. The best policy is just being honest. Or honesty is the best policy. Is that what people say? Not really. Now my brain is confused because I messed it up at first. What a complete fail by me. I thought that I was doing a good job starting off the show with, that analogy, but I failed. Wet the bed on that one. Oh well. I guess on Wednesday, I'll have a new way to start the show, and hopefully I can redeem myself then. Speaking of redeeming yourself, a mom needs to redeem herself after she made possibly one of the worst sandwiches in all of sandwich making history. A young boy was filmed getting off the bus, which looked like he was probably getting off the bus from, I would say, kindergarten, the first day of kindergarten. That's a big day. You're going to new school, meeting a lot of new people. The expectations are just very high for that first day of school. And then all of a sudden, you get your ass to lunch. You sit down, you're breaking bread with all your new friends. And then you go and take a bite of your sandwich. And it sucks. It's terrible. That's the worst feeling. How do you recover the rest of the day after having a bad sandwich at lunch? It's not possible. Your day is ruined. Even having a box full of 24 crayons with the pencil sharpener on the back, that ain't cutting it. That's not redeeming it. A bad sandwich is setting the tone for the rest of the school year. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there was a TikTok film of this kindergartner coming off of the bus. I think he's kindergartner, maybe preschool. I don't know. But he told his mom, the truth about her sandwich making ability. And this, pretty damn epic.
Hey, you did it.
Mommy?
Yeah.
Terrible sandwich, by the way.
Thanks for letting me know.
Really terrible.
I mean, that kid had a terrible sandwich. It's not that hard to make a sandwich. Some bread, either some meat, peanut butter, jelly. I mean, there's a lot of different variations that you could go with making a good sandwich. But how did this mom screw it up? How did she screw up the first day of school sandwich? I would never let my mom live that down either. Matter of fact, I was always as honest as that kid when it came to my school lunch with my mom. My mom would never let me down when it came to my whole lunch. My lunch was the one that everyone else at the table wanted because it was that elite. Imagine yourself going to school with such an elite lunch that you knew once you got to your table, you could trade anything you wanted your sandwich for. If a kid had a Lunchable, you could trade for that. If a kid had a candy bar in his lunch, you could trade for that. But you best believe, since my mom's sandwich making skills were next level, I was not trading my sandwich for another sandwich. Wasn't happening. I did it once, and it was the biggest regret I ever had in my whole entire life. I remember trading this kid Curtis at lunch. His sandwich was one piece of meat and bread. No mustard, no mayo, nothing else besides a ham and cheese loaf. Not ham and cheese, but the Oscar Mayer prepackaged ham and cheese loaf. One slice of that. My mom, she put on probably 4 to 6 slices, I would say, depending on the slice thickness of the meat. But I felt bad after eating my sandwiches because I had kids at my table that were having sandwiches with only one piece of meat on there. How does that happen? I understand times could be tough at home. If that's the case, just go peanut butter and jelly. You can make peanut butter and jelly last quite a long time. But you can't send a kid to school with only one piece of meat on their sandwich. And I have a feeling that's what happened to this kid. he got one piece of turkey on his sandwich, and it was probably dry as hell. With the sandwich that's going to be sitting in a lunchbox all day long, you have to put some sort of condiment. Whether you put it on the sandwich when you're making it or putting it in a little package so that way the kid could put it on there. A dry-ass turkey sandwich. Oh, man. I feel so bad for that kid. I mean, you can't recover from that. And that mom is never going to recover from that sound being on TikTok either. She's going to be known as the bad sandwich mom. My mom, nope. I told you, she was an elite lunch maker. This is what I had in my lunch every single day. Some sort of sandwich. Most of the time, it was either ham or turkey. Every once in a while, she'll sprinkle in a peanut butter and jelly just to switch it up. Like I would say, hey, Mom, can I get a peanut butter and jelly tomorrow? Sure thing. And even if I didn't like the peanut butter and jelly, it was still serviceable, or it was good enough to eat for lunch. The way that I like peanut butter and jelly is a little bit different than everyone else. I like peanut butter on both sides of the bread and then the jelly on top of the peanut butter. I had to relay that to my mom. I'm like, I need a little bit more peanut butter. It makes it a little bit more filling. But always a sandwich. Always a Little Debbie. Loved me a Little Debbie. Whether it was the Swiss roll, the Nutty Buddy, the Star Crunch, which I think is very underrated. A lot of people shit on the Star Crunch. I absolutely love that thing. A honey bun. I haven't had a honey bun in probably 15 years. The last one I think I had was probably in junior high when my mom put it in my lunch, because in high school I started to eat a little bit healthier. So there were no more Little Debbies in my lunch in high school. My mom was putting in like carrots and celery, making it healthier. Because I wanted to be an elite athlete and I needed to work out and eat healthy. So in elementary school, you always had the Little Debbie, the sandwich, a bag of chips. Listen, Doritos, Cool Ranch Doritos, Fritos, the chili cheese flavored ones. Only the best chips were put in my brown paper bag. And when I was feeling really nice and wild, throwing those chips on a sandwich, you know that's the move. That's the all-time fat move right there. You take those chips, maybe 3, 4, 5, put them in there, smash all that stuff together, and then you have that nice crunch. Now I want to make myself like a little childhood lunch. Reminisce, bring back some of that nostalgic act of 1998 being in the Saukview Elementary lunchroom, which also doubled as the gym. Nothing like it. Actually, high school, we had our own dedicated cafeteria, but junior high, we had lunch in the gym as well. There's tables that would come out of the wall. All the schools in the district had it. It was pretty sweet. Tell you what, though. One thing I do miss about a school lunch is just the overall, terrible decisions that parents made at the grocery store. Like, you could see, and I'm not saying in a bad way, but you could see in a direction of, the kid won, right? Like, most of the time, there's some sort of balance between health and trash food that is inside of a kid's lunch. Usually some sort of vegetables in there, maybe some sort of fruit. My mom always put carrots. That was the one health thing that she always put in our lunch. But there are some kids that would go to school, like the one kid that I said I never would trade a sandwich to again, who just had one piece of the ham and cheese Oscar Mayer loaf. His mom would do fruit by the foot, Gushers, all these trash snacks. Now, I don't mean trash in they were terrible. I mean, trash as in they just were not healthy at all. I loved those things. I could trade a full sandwich for one. Every once in a while, could probably trade, depending on what Little Debbie I had, I could trade for the fruit by the foot. My mom would never buy those things. I think she thought they were too expensive. Now as a kid, I walk past those at the grocery store. I'm like, I have adult money now. I could buy those, but I don't want to. I just wish I would pull the trigger one time and buy fruit by the foot. Or Gushers. I heard they don't taste the same, though. There's a lot of things from our childhood. If you're a millennial, you grew up, late 90s, early 2000s, and you would have some of these snacks that you thought were so good. They were so gourmet, like SpaghettiOs. You remember SpaghettiOs and how good you thought SpaghettiOs were? I loved them with either the meatballs or the hot dogs in there. Needed some sort of protein. That's what I thought at that age. Needed some sort of protein. No, that's not what I thought. I just liked it. Either meatballs or hot dogs in there. We would eat those all the time throughout the summer. I remember I was living in Little Rock. It was probably like 2017, 2018. I went to the grocery store trying to find something for lunch. It's like, you know what? I haven't had SpaghettiOs in forever. They were on sale. And I picked up a can, slammed it on the ground, and said Microsoft just went down 3 points. Went home, made that can of SpaghettiOs, and they were disgusting. I took one bite. I'm like, what the hell is missing from this can of SpaghettiOs? What did they take out? More like it, what did they add to this stuff to give it a longer shelf life now? It was not good. I threw away basically the whole bowl. I had one bite. It was so disappointing. Ugh. I wish those were good. Chef Boyardee, same thing. I had a buddy in college that ate Chef Boyardee like it was his job. I had a can of his once, and I went to the store. I was like, hey, do you mind? Can I have a can of your Chef Boyardee? Next time I go to the store, I'll get you a can. He's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. I remember the regret that I had. Just eating the Chef Boyardee. Like, this shit is not good. What happened to it? In the 90s, 2000, this stuff was elite. This was next level stuff. Not next level anymore. I feel sorry for the kids that are growing up, that are having to eat some horrible SpaghettiOs and Chef Boyardee. Which, by the way, this I thought was a crazy move on my roommate in college's part. He would just open up a can of Chef Boyardee and eat that shit cold. Or room temperature. I know it's possible. Like, you could do it. You're not going to get sick from it. Ugh. It just looked worse. For some reason, it looked horrible. Now it just has me thinking of food from like the 90s and the 2000s that I absolutely loved. See, this is what kills me sometimes when I go down these roads of talking about awesome things from my childhood. A lot of things pop back in my mind. Like, for example, talking about having SpaghettiOs and Chef Boyardee later in life and it just not tasting good. Do you remember Dunkaroos back as a child? Like I said, if you're a millennial, you remember Dunkaroos. They were fantastic. Basically, graham crackers with frosting. How could that be bad? When those came back out, I knew I had to get to a grocery store and try those. Not the same. They're not as good. Or maybe it's just my taste buds have gotten better and matured a little bit over that time. But man, not the same. So let down after all those years going without them, getting them back in my life. Complete letdown. But you know what never lets me down? And you know what never lets you down either? Pizza. Pizza has never let anyone down. Even a bad pizza is good pizza. It's still serviceable. You're still going to eat the leftovers. You're still probably going to eat more than what you really should when you're eating it because it's pizza. You love it. There's not really a better food out there. Of course, there's steaks and stuff that's a little bit more fancy. But in this grand scheme of things, what if you had more in your life, pizza or steak? Probably have eaten more pizza in your life than you've had steak. For me as a kid, I had it every Friday. Actually, I had it twice on Friday. Had it at lunch, and then I had it at home for dinner when we watched the TGIF lineup on ABC. Sometimes we would order it from a local spot. Most of the time, it was from a local spot. We either went to Sam's, or there was this place that was open for a while called Guido's. We would order from one of those two places. Devour it while we were watching Boy Meets World, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I'm trying to think of other shows that were on there. Full House, I think, was on there for a little while. Family Matters. There was a lot of great shows that were on the ABC TGIF lineup. But we always ate pizza with it. And I was never disappointed in the pizza we got. Now, when we did get from a local pizza place, those places were good. So you knew you never were going to be disappointed. We kept it pretty basic in our house ordering pizza, though. Just some pepperoni and sausage. What we would do for the kids' pizza would be pepperoni and sausage. My dad, for some reason, only ever wants sausage on pizza. But the one thing that bothers me so much when my dad orders pizza, I feel like it's only because he has one topping on there. This is why. This is my philosophy in my head on why my dad does this. But whenever he orders his pizza, his sausage pizza, he goes, a sausage and cheese pizza, cheese and sausage pizza. That's what he says. I'm like, Dad, cheese already comes on the pizza. There's no reason for you to order sausage and cheese or cheese and sausage, whichever way you want to say it. Just say a sausage pizza. Pizza comes on that. It would be like going to Jersey Mike's and saying, yeah, let me take the Italian. Can I have bread with that? You mean like the most important thing to it? Or could I have the Italian with no meat? Like in that scenario, I understand. Maybe a bad analogy right there. But cheese is automatically on a pizza. Like if you just want a cheese pizza, be like cheese pizza. Any other pizza, you don't need to order with cheese on there. It's already included in the price of the pizza. So if you're calling in a pizza order, which I know you might not do now. You might order a pizza on an app or do it online or something like that. For some reason, when I'd order a pizza from like a local place, I still like to call it in. It's that nostalgic thing for me. But I always cringe when I hear my dad order his cheese and sausage pizza. And he's done it my whole life, whether we went to Sam's, Guido's, or Rilio's. I'm trying to think of other big-time pizza places that we always went to. He would always just still say cheese and sausage. And when my parents were in town this weekend or last weekend for Memorial or Labor Day weekend, he was like, yeah, I want the cheese and sausage pizza. I'm like, I got to address this with him. I'm like, Dad, why do you do it? Why do you order cheese and sausage? You just need a sausage pizza. He was like, no, cheese and sausage. If I order just a sausage pizza, there's going to be no cheese. I'm like, Dad, that's not the thing. All these prices that you see online is for a cheese pizza. The extra toppings, the $2 charges for the pepperoni, the sausage, and all that, that's an add-on. If you want more cheese, now that's going to cost you. Cheese is just the basic infrastructure of a pizza. Now, I understand someone might not having cheese on a pizza because they're lactose intolerant or they can't, too much cheese hurts their stomach or something like that. If you order a pizza in that scenario, you say no cheese. But if you don't have any stomach issues and you can handle cheese and you get no cheese on there, you're a psychopath. you should be getting cheese on your pizza. So I was talking to my buddy about this because my dad kept saying, like, no, you order cheese on a pizza. No, my dad and I argued about this for about like 30 minutes. I texted a buddy. He was like, no, you don't order with cheese on a pizza. If I'm ordering a pizza, my buddy Taylor's order is sausage and bacon. He doesn't ask for cheese when he orders out because cheese is already on the pizza. So I told him, I was like, hey, I need you to do me a favor. Pull people that you know and ask them when they order a pizza if they ask for cheese on it. There was only one person that he encountered said that they said yes, they say cheese when they order a pizza. Everyone I know, except my dad, he is the exception, said that they do not order cheese on a pizza because it's on there. I asked coworkers, I asked friends. You know what? I almost went to the store and just asked random people, when you order a pizza, do you ask for cheese on it if you're getting multiple toppings? The answer is no. I feel bad trashing my dad like that on ordering a pizza. That's the only thing I'm going to trash him on because he's a good dad. But I like to bust his balls. And I feel like that's a good place where I could bust his balls at, is when it comes to ordering a pizza. I love pizza, though. Nora and I have decided that we are going to make homemade pizzas every single Friday now. Except this past Friday, we actually had to order out because I fucked up the pizza dough. Not once, but twice. I don't know what it was. I could not get the yeast to activate. And I was so heartbroken about it. Because the week prior, I made an awesome pizza crust. I thought it turned out really well. When I waited that 30 minutes to let the yeast rise, it was huge. It probably tripled in size. That's what it looked like, at least. This time when I waited 30 minutes for the yeast to rise, maybe a quarter bigger. And I had all the toppings. This is what broke my heart, too. I had all the toppings that I was going to put on there, cut up, ready to go. We had pepperoni, some mushrooms, some bell peppers. Nora doesn't like bell peppers on hers, so hers was just going to be turkey and mushroom. But I had it all cut up. And it broke my heart. Because I was thinking, if I get good at this, maybe I'll just open up a pizza shop. I'll have all the toppings in the world to throw on there, even cheese, for an extra $2. That's what I would do if I were a pizza owner. If you order cheese, I would charge you $2 extra. Like that's an extra topping. You're asking for more cheese. That's what I would do. But it made me really think about trying to perfect this pizza crust recipe. I've watched videos. I've watched YouTube videos. I've watched TikTok videos of people making pizza crust to see where I went wrong in the process. And I couldn't think of anywhere that I went wrong. Every step that I had seemed like was the ones that people were showing in videos. But whatever reason, it didn't hit. It was terrible. Actually, there was like a little bit of a pizza that came out that the dough worked. Nora ate it. She said it was good. I believe her. She could be lying to me because she doesn't want my heart to break even more. But, man, I got to get it. I got to get it together for next week. What other toppings should I put on my pizza? I feel like pepperoni, peppers, and mushrooms are good. But every once in a while, I like a really loaded up pizza. And that really has me thinking of the top 3 pizza toppings. Mine are going to be super basic, but I feel like very appropriate to be on this list. So let's go with this Monday's top 3 pizza toppings. And starting at number 3 for me is a good old green pepper, baby. I love vegetables on pizza. Green peppers, my favorite. I could eat a whole vegetable pizza. I don't even need meat on a pizza every once in a while. Like if I just want green pepper, onion, spinach, tomato, olives, I could do all of that. And I wouldn't need any sort of meat and feel like I didn't get a real pizza. Because with those green pepper on there and with all those vegetables, I'm A-okay with it. So that's why green peppers finds its spot at number 3 on my top 3 pizza toppings. The number 2 pizza topping to me is one of the OGs, sausage. It's so good, especially when you're getting some high quality sausage. And I feel like if you grow up in a big Italian area where people really take their pizza seriously and get good sausage for their pizza, sausage hits every single time. Now, I've lived in other parts of the country where sausage on pizza is just not that good and it looks like ground up hamburger meat. It's not, that's the worst kind of Italian sausage. Just chunk it up, pull it apart, and stick it right on that pizza and make it look like a little clump of Italian sausage on there. I love Italian sausage on my pizza. That's why it finds its spot at number 2 for the top 3 pizza toppings. And the number 1 pizza topping out there, pepperoni. I don't know why I love pepperoni so much on my pizza, but now I rarely ever order a pizza without pepperoni on it. You know who I think I blame on that one? I honestly think I blame Little Caesars. Because a $5 hot and ready pizza, their pepperoni is honestly their best topping. And I think that's why I've fallen in love with it. Although I'll say this, I can't do Little Caesars pepperoni anymore. It's too greasy. It hurts my stomach so bad. So now when I go to Little Caesars, I have to order it with sausage instead of pepperoni. And it breaks my heart because pepperoni is the best pizza topping out there. I hope you enjoyed that top 3 this week. If you feel like I left something off of the list, you let me know. Or come up with your own top 3 pizza toppings and let me know what your top 3 are because it's important. Everybody loves pizza. It's one of those foods that you can have a shit ton of people over at your house and order and know everyone is going to like that. And usually when you're ordering pizza, you're having yourself a little night. Probably going to end up eating your pizza out on the couch, watching TV. You don't eat pizza at the table. Pizza is a couch food. And if you disagree with that, we can't be friends, okay? We cannot be friends if you're sitting down at a table eating pizza. To me, that's weird as hell. The only time you sit at a table with your family and eat pizza is when you go to a pizza restaurant. Never at home. If you're at home, you're watching sports, you're watching something on TV. You're not eating at the table. Pizza is a perfect, mobile, friendly, easy, friendly meal to eat on the couch. You don't have to worry about everything getting all over the place. But if you're going to sit down on the couch and watch Hulu or Disney Plus, it's going to cost you a little bit more money. I don't understand what all these streaming services keep doing. Their rates go up and up and up, it seems like twice a year. Disney just announced that Hulu, with no ads, is going to be going from $6.99 to $7.99. The ad-free version, which is currently at $12.99, is going to $14.99. Travesty. Disney Plus, on the other hand, is going from $7.99 to $10.99, the biggest price jump of there. And get this, Disney is now going to have a $7.99 plan. So if that's all you want to pay for Disney Plus, you could still pay that $7.99, but you're going to get commercials with that $7.99 tier. At what point now does it make sense to cut the cord from all these cable providers, satellite providers, to get all these different streaming services? I understand it's kind of a la carte. You could pick what you want when it comes to streaming services. You get those shows. And ESPN Plus is actually going up too. It's going up a couple bucks. But I don't understand the allure of cutting a cord now. if you're a sports fan, you have to have cable. You have to. Because Disney decided for some reason that ESPN Plus shouldn't have the same offerings as regular ESPN. I find that dumb. It should. People are paying you an exclusive price to watch their sports. But Disney's like, nah, we're not going to give you that same stuff. You got to pay extra, my guy. That's not what I'm trying to do. And the whole purpose of cutting the cord, which now seems like something that was done about 7 years ago. Everybody started to venture into Netflix and Hulu and, whatever streaming services they could find. Sling TV used to be a cheaper option, YouTube TV, all these other platforms. They're like, it's going to be cheaper for you. Now it's not cheaper. Now it's more expensive than ever for streaming services. I think Netflix announced not that long ago that they're raising their rates, and there's rumors that they might be having an ad-supported version as well. I feel like we're going backwards with streaming services. It might be better for you just to get the bundle for your cable and internet now and just get one streaming service and it still being cheaper than getting the high tier internet, so that way you could stream all throughout your house. If you get the middle of the road internet with a good cable package, you could DVR stuff, skip through all these commercials that you don't want to watch anyway. And it's going to be a cheaper option for you. And then you get one streaming service. And what you do is you get that one streaming service, then you tell a family member or a friend, hey, why don't you get that streaming service? And then that person tells another friend, okay, hey, listen, I'm in a little deal here with a family member or a friend. You got to get a streaming service and we'll all share passwords so that way we could have access to all these different accounts. Because it's not too far down the road that Disney, in their little conglomerate that they have with Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu, it seems like there's going to be a point where that's where you'll only be able to find Disney content. And then you have Paramount Plus. It seems like Paramount will offer CBS stuff and Paramount, and I forget what other company they own. You have Peacock, which is owned by Comcast, NBC Universal. So you'll have all their stuff. And then you'll have Discovery, which is now like TBS, TNT, Discovery, HGTV, Food Network, all those channels. It seems like they really want to create all these different places for you to go to get your TV instead of just going to one place to get it. It seems confusing now. I don't like it. And I'm lucky that I have YouTube TV through a friend. He allows me to use it. He's been using my Peacock / WWE network for a while now. But if he ever wanted me to pay him for it, I would. But it's just kind of getting out of hand, man. All this stuff is getting more expensive. And I feel like whenever companies go like, well, we got to raise our rate, we have to pay our employees more. I feel like that's always an easy cop-out. Well, inflation, we had to give our employees raises too, so that way they could afford. We gave them a 2% raise. Really, you didn't do anything. The real winners, though, are the CEOs of all these companies. They have us subscribing, and they're getting even more money on the back end of it all. Got to find out how to become a TV executive, so that way I could work there for about 2 years. That seems like the average lifespan of someone that works as an executive in TV. They make millions of dollars, but to be honest, they have their options of going to work for any other network after that, or they're making so much money they might not even need a job after that. That's my rant about streaming services, and those will be provided to you every single time a streaming company says we're raising our rates. I'm serious about that because it just has me fired up. It's supposed to be the cheaper way to go. Now it's not the cheaper option. Blasphemy. Absolute blasphemy, as Stephen A. Smith would say. That's going to do it for this episode of The Luke Kelly Show. Wednesday, Nora stops by with a do smut tale. I'm not even sure if she's reading a smut book right now, so I'll really have to let her know, hey, you need to come up with a good quote, okay? Last week's was a good one. Don't let us down. That's what I'm going to tell Nora. Well, thank you so much for showing up and listening to this episode. I'll talk to you Wednesday here on The Luke Kelly Show.